Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this video we are looking at the Marvel Legend Machine Man. This is a character that we have never had a Marvel Legends figure of before, so this is kind of cool. He's a little bit more of an obscure character, not quite a front row, top tier character, but he's still kind of a cool one, and he's a nice looking figure, so he's kind of a cool figure to add to the collection. He does come with a little bit of a gimmicky accessory, which is still kind of cool. He's got these weird clubs that look like hands at the end of batons. I'm not really sure what they're for. No, I'm only kidding, of course. These are his interchangeable hands, so you can pop off these gripping hands. Those pop out, and that's the kind of peg they have, so they shouldn't be too difficult to pop out or to put back in. And then these have a very similar peg. You can pop these in, and now he's got his Go-Go Gadget hand extensions. They are a fairly stiff plastic, but they are technically also bendable. As you can see, it doesn't really hold that well because of the stiff plastic. I suppose that's better than having a really soft plastic that'll break down over time, but it also takes a little bit away from the bendiness. I'm not sure that the bendiness is particularly effective anyway, or useful, but it is there. Then the hands at the end are hinged, of course, and they swivel, so you can avoid those holes in those plastic pieces. And of course, it's the same on both sides. You know, I tried to swap the hands out when I first got it. These ones don't want to come out, so unless I'm doing something wrong, which all you're supposed to do is pull on it, mine don't come out. It would have been cool to have them be interchangeable for the extension and for the wrist, but my fists will not come out. So I don't know if that was intentional or not. It's a little unfortunate though. Not a big deal, but it is something worth noting. I would have expected that to be the case, that they could swap, but they can't. So the body is mostly just the Bucky Cap body, or I guess more accurately the Black Panther body for the most part. He's about 6.5 inches tall, almost exactly. And I say he's Black Panther because he has the smooth boots. And the hands, though, are the Bucky Cap hands, minus the fact that he doesn't have a trigger finger, so that's nice. I don't remember if anybody had just the gripping hands before. Either way, that's what he has. So it doesn't look like they just stole parts, even though it's just a blank body. It doesn't look like they used parts from somebody else, so that's a good thing. The head is, of course, an original sculpt. And I use that term loosely because it's still, despite the little details they added, like the little grooves in the cheeks and of course the eyes and then the rest of the head, it still bears a striking resemblance to Steve Rogers or Captain America. And I've talked about the heads before on these newer Legends. This one's not as bad, but it's still, like I said, it looks really darn close to Captain America. So that's a little discerning, I guess. But the sculpt is fine otherwise, other than looking like Cap. I do like the details they put in. All the paintwork on him is actually fairly well done. The silver lines are, for the most part, sharp and crisp, and they look good, so I'm okay with that, and it's pretty metallic. The purple is molded in this pearlescent plastic, which looks pretty cool. I'll take that. That's kind of a nice looking piece on the shelf. And then his belt, not quite as metallic as the painted silver parts, but it's not bad. It'll do. It is a floating belt, so it won't really get in the way no matter how you pose it. And you can pretty much put it where you want. Then I'll do a quick rundown of the articulation for you guys in case you haven't seen this body before. Ball peg for the head with the hinge in here. Standard ball hinge for the shoulder. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbow. You already saw the wrists swivel and hinge. Ab crunch works just fine on this body. Waist twist is just fine. T-jointed hips, really nice range of motion forward and back. Side to side, it's not great, but it's definitely not bad at all, so that's fine by me. Excuse me. We have a thigh swivel, double jointed knees. No problems there. We do have a shin swivel, which you guys may or may not know I'm not a fan of, but it doesn't really detract from the figure in this case, so no problem there. And then we have an ankle hinge, which works fine, and an ankle rocker, which even though it puts it at an angle, a funny angle, due to the newer design, it is still there and appreciated. The only thing that really bugs me, other than the hands not being swappable and the head looking like Cap, which are just kind of small things, They're still using the same shoes from Bucky Cap, which is a thing that stands out because it has texturing, or they have texturing on them, and none of the rest of the body does. So they look like they're borrowed. This figure, they're not nearly as noticeable as some of the other ones, so it's not a big deal at all. But I do recommend it. It's a cool little figure. Nothing particularly special about it. Of course, these are kind of special, but for the most part, it's a pretty bland figure, but it doesn't look bad. So if you like Machine Man or you're just trying to flush out your Marvel Legends collection, it's probably worth picking up. There's nothing really wrong with it per se, so I do recommend it. And I'll post them in some poses here at the end of the video so you can see them in action. And then I'll do some more reviews. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see those upcoming reviews and my custom figures and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.